Hello, I'm Valentina Galatiotto, nicknamed Max by my friends, and this is my first submission for the Art2Ride Associate Trainers program. My partner in crime in this video is Walker. He is a 3 years old quarter horse colt, as you can see. He is a super duper mellow, friendly and cuddly horse. I had him since he was a weanling, and I plan to spend with him at minimum the next 30 years together. That's why I chose the Art2Ride method to play with his body and mind. Walker has had a few months of preparatory training now. We used to do up to 10 minutes of work in hand on both bitless and a regular bridle. And I introduced him to the lunge work in walk and trot up to 15 minutes every 2 or 3 days. Now we extended this work a little bit, and I recently started to introduce short counter departures into our lunging, and I don't ride him yet. My plans for Walker are to keep doing Art2Ride dressage work, and additionally I want to keep doing liberty work with some agility exercises and maybe long reining. But we don't work on a schedule though. We do things just for fun. I start my work here with the work in hand to get him warmed up before the lunch line, to see what's his mood today, and to get him find his rhythm and stretch. My goal is to get him actively work through his body. That means I try to encourage him to bend his body and to step with his inside hind leg under himself more. And that ideally will help to push the back more up, creating energy that will also help the horse to stretch with his head and neck down into the soft contact of my outside rein. This is an excellent introduction to future riding, as you have the perfect space to build up your communication and cues set. Your horse will learn about rhythm, relaxation, how to trust your hands while seeking the contact, what the rein cues mean, and how to bend and step away from you from your whip cue that later you will replace with a leg cue from the saddle. And honestly, the work in hand is my current favorite exercise because it relaxes me and my horse. It helps us get in the zone, and it deepens our friendship with every session. So if you have any trust-based issues with your horse, I highly encourage you to walk them off with the work in hand. And I must admit that Art2Ride opened a door that allowed me to fall in love with the contact and the light feelings of the horse's mouth in my hands. I've always seen the horse as an incredibly magical, artistic creature that I wanted to create art with. But my previous experiences, especially when I was little, after riding extremely hollow skull horses with really stiff bodies and in consequence super hard mouths, really made me dislike contact. That is why I used to avoid that with my horses, with my previous horses, by riding on complete loose reins, mostly bitless. But my fear was finally gone when I got to experience a horse that is seeking my hands and not the other way around. it is one of the best feelings in the world. It's like your own horse reaches out to you and invites you to dance. Love it. The work in hand shows you a way to relax the horse's body enough to fully experience the beauty of the softest possible connection with the horse's mouth, with a pole that feels like butter. And Walker's eyes from start to finish confirm his relaxation. I want to be able to have fun and to create art with my horses, mutual positive feelings about it. Walker is naturally right bend. That means that you can observe two major things while we work. He tends to be more awkward on the left and fall in with his shoulder, and he tends to overbend to the right and fall out with his shoulder. So our job here is to make both sides of the horse relaxed enough so the difference from the left and right side will be less and less visible in the future. And for that we need patience, time and relaxation. More and more relaxation. He has also a very long back that will probably take more time to strengthen, so it won't get hollow with a future rider, but that's okay. He compensates it with a big strided walk that creates a very visible wave that simply hypnotize you. And the walk work is definitely our strongest side for now. That's why we do most things in that gait for now. By now you probably noticed that I reward Walker a lot, usually whenever we change directions. It is not a rule, it's just something that I want to do because it feels nice. I like to see my animals eat, so I choose to do that. I like to show my happiness and gratitude that way, but it is totally optional for you. You can't force relaxation, so I believe that if you start with the intentions of creating space for calmness, relaxation and happiness, you are on the right track right from the start. No matter what equipment you use or if you feed your horse or not. It's just nice to give them something good as a thank you. But I think your intent counts more than the technique. So don't worry if you're clumsy at work in hand. Set the right intention and go try it. I wanted to talk about why would you need so much relaxation. Relaxation is the opposite of stress, and when dealing with a big prey animal, we really need to know the differences between relaxation and stress in training, when everything can change in a matter of seconds. We also need to understand the consequences of stress. And stress has a biochemical reaction that when it's experienced, the body releases a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol within 7 minutes has the ability of reducing your IQ by as much as 40 to 50%. So when you're stressed, your IQ is compromised. And the same goes for horses. The more stress and tensions in their bodies, the smaller their awareness becomes, and they start seeing less and less ways out of the stressful situation that usually ends up with the flight or fight reaction. And that is something we all would like to avoid as much as possible. So when we work with horses, we want to have their full capacity of intellect, so they can make sound and good decisions in those moments. However, there is an antidote to stress, and it is called DHEA, the antidote for cortisol. And DHEA is the chemical that is released naturally when the body is in a state of natural relaxation. So relaxation naturally have the power to increase your horse's awareness, and that is something that we want to reinforce when building up a connection with them. We want an aware connection based on relaxation rather than an unstable connection based on stress or excitement or fear. As you see, we walk mainly on a big circle, and I do occasionally the leg yield on both sides. And if you wonder why his man part are out most of the time, it is because a mare on the other paddock decided that this is the perfect day to be in season. Right on the day that I decided to record my submission. Perfect. But that's okay, because you can see that he is okay with me cooperating with him, even if he's a little bit excited, and he can feel her, but he still chooses to connect with me and work a little bit, which I was very grateful for. I really like how he stretches not only down but forward with his nose, and that will enable him to fill all the major gaps, muscle gaps in his top line, and usually they are located right before and after the withers, and on the lumbar area. Yes, and making big active steps will really push the back up. Yes, so so we're trying to establish the stretch. You can observe that whenever he stretches down, like with his nose almost to the ground, his legs, his hind legs, make a completely different movement. It is way more round, and they lift up from the ground sooner. Yes, and it allows him to push the back even more and to engage the core muscles and his belly muscles. So I'm very, very pleased with how he works I know that he will be even better in the future, and the walk work will do wonders to his back. And that's it, and we will move on to the lunge work in a bit. I let him rest a little bit and drink something, eat some hay, and then the lunge work. So here we are with the lunge work now. We start, of course, with searching for the deepest stretch and the deepest active walk and the most active steps from behind. And active doesn't really mean, and doesn't necessarily mean fast. I just want the stride to be bigger, as big as possible. Well, fortunately, Walker is pretty engaged in this work and he likes doing that, so I don't need to push more for forward movement. He goes pretty well by himself. And this is his left side, his harder side, so you can, especially on the lunge line, you will see him looking a little bit outside to the camera, but also falling a little bit in with his shoulder, and this will be more visible on the left side. On the right side, I really like how he goes. He bends really nicely in his pole. So yeah, we just started, so I reinforce a lot just to get him really focused and excited about working. And we just go forward. Here I was asking him to go on a bigger circle, so I should pick up a little bit of the slack of the lunge line, like that, to have a little more ability to catch the contact if he goes outside with his head, and to encourage him to bend to the inside. It's been a rather hot day and we start to have a lot of flies, so you will see a little bit of activity from the tail today, and that's okay. Yes, and just nicely walking forward with the wobbly head, loose neck, and a swinging back. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, on the I saw a huge horsefly here, and I was trying to catch it, but I didn't want to smack him. And I was afraid of it because it was really big, so oh my god. Yes, it was like trying to bit him. So here I am trying to catch it. Yes, I got it. Okay. Let me go back to the lunging. You can really see how calm he is, even though these circumstances, and even though I do silly things like that, he got used to that. He got used to that. He has a pretty crazy owner. Oh, I looked back and he thought that I was calling him in, but that's okay. I didn't punish him for that. I just rephrased what I wanted, and I just sent him forward again. And now I thanked him that he listened to that without problems. And here you can see, oh my god, he chose to perform his favorite exercise, which is shoulder in towards me. It is something that we do on Liberty, but he sometimes does it. He proposed it on the lunch line too, and I also didn't punish him for that, of course. I just said thanks, but I need lunging today. I need to record it. So I was happy that he's so engaged that he thinks about the exercises, and he wants to participate actively by proposing them to me. I'm very happy about it. And I know that particularly he loves the shoulder in on the right side towards me. He's obsessed over it. Okay, so we moved to trot now, and occasionally he come too close to me, so I try to send him to a bigger circle, but without making him go into canter or too fast. So I really like how he stretches, but for now we're trying to establish a bigger circle, and after that I will try to slow the trot a little bit, just so the trot becomes more bouncy and more upwards than just simply fast and flat. So I thanked him here, and we will try on the other side to see how he does here. So I'm waiting for him to relax a little bit more before I ask him to trot. I know that he likes to be very close to me while we work, but for his own sake, for the sake of his body, I need to ask him to move a little bit away from me, because it is easier for the body to bend on a bigger circle, and he's not ready to do two small circles, because he will either fall in or out with his shoulders. Now you see that even on this big circle he falls a little bit in with his shoulder on the left side. So what I would like to do, yes, here pick up the lunge line a little bit and try to send away his hind quarters a little bit, and we will work later on that too. He's still learning though. When I ask him to move away his hind legs, and when do I want him to go a little bit faster or change gaits. So he's trying his best to understand me, but that's okay. We're taking our time. It's not like I need to have this perfect now. Okay, so now the right side. And here too, I'm just waiting for him to get even more relaxed before we start anything else. Okay, the trot. He got a little bit hollow for a second because of the gait change. But he relaxes right away. So now that we've got a pretty consistent stretch down, I would like to work more towards creating a lift in the withers, and maybe to create a more consistent lift, because it happens sometimes to us to achieve that, but for now these movements are still pretty flat to me, but that's okay because he's really young and he's just started, so yes, and thank you again. Good. Very good. Okay, and on the other side. The same thing, I'm just looking for more and more relaxation. Yes, better stretch. Now I'll ask him to trot. And he throws his head a little bit in the air, but that will pass with time. Yeah, so he stiffens a little bit on this side now, so I take a step back and just look for relaxation. Good, and I reinforce that. We took a little bit of break because it was so hot that I needed to drink something, and Walker I guess too. So yeah, in the walk, just as before, I'm looking for more relaxation, big steps, not fast, just big. and the wave on the back. Back to walk again, and just as before, I look for relaxation, activity from behind to create that wave on the back. You can see his eyes relaxed, calm. And we had to take a break because it was really hot and I needed to drink something. Because remember guys, if it's in summer, if you're lunging your horse and it's really hot, just remember to have a bottle of water somewhere nearby and just drink a little bit. And if I don't work too hard, meaning if the horse doesn't get too tired, I let him sip a little bit of water too during the breaks. Okay, so I believe here I tried a little bit of canter, but I soon saw that it wasn't a really good idea, because yes, as you can see, this canter is really hollow and just won't do any good for now. He's just starting to cantering on the lunge line, so he's trying to figure out his body on a circle, and he simply doesn't have the strength to canter on the lunge yet and to be relaxed within this gait, because this kind of work should feel always easy. So if you encounter any problems in the gaits, that a horse feels too tense, just take a step back and go back to the easier gait that your horse feels comfortable with, and just work on building muscle strength in that gait, and all the problems in the faster gaits will just disappear on their own. So you don't have to use strength yourself, you don't have to push anything or pull anything to make it look good. It will just happen naturally if you give it time. And just seek relaxation. Whatever you do, just relax and let it happen, because it will. Just like that, relax. I'm really happy with this character, really like this horse, and I feel like this is really the horse of my life. I really feel a great connection with him, and the work just flows. If anything happens that he stiffens or tenses, I just know that we need to relax even more. And now he poops and I don't ask him to walk and poop at the same time, because I don't know, it just feels rude to do so. And I really like how with this kind of work his confidence grows with every session. He really, I really can see that he enjoys himself, and that he is becoming more and more trusting in what we're doing, and he sees a purpose to that. So whenever I feel that I have to push him, I know something isn't right, because usually he really likes to work with me. And yes. So I notice sometimes that he tends to be sensitive to the ground if there are little rocks. He had his feet down recently, and after cutting a lot of hoof, he became sensitive. So I think I will give him more time off, because I see that it's still a problem for him a little bit. So I will just wait. Okay, so that's a whole session for us. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to give an update on Walker soon. Bye.